everybody. Eyal Levi from URM Academy, Nail the Mix here, and I am going to unbox Remote Tumor Seeker by the band Archspire, which is part of November 2018's Nail the Mix. This was originally mixed and produced by none other than the great Dave Otero, and let's get into this. I'm just going to show you guys that there's some drums here, lots of bass, some DIs, some amped tracks, leads, and some vocals. And as per usual, no plugins. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right off the bat that I'm super fucking excited that we have this band on because, you know, I used to listen to technical death metal a lot when I was younger, but I felt at some point after Necrophagist, it's not that there weren't good bands. There were some good bands, but I feel like the Epitaph record by Necrophagist kind of set the bar for that style of music, and it really hasn't been like blown away until now. I really do feel like bands like Archspire, Beyond Creation, like this new wave of technical death metal, are taking the genre to new heights. So I'm super stoked to have a part of that on Nail the Mix. And before we start taking it apart, I'll just let you hear what this sounds like with everything on. I could just sit here and listen to that. It's so sick. And I spoke to Dave Otero about this because I had to know for myself. With stuff that's this fast, I just wanted to confirm that it's actually played and not, you know, slowed down and sped up like half speed. And hey, you know, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But no, he confirmed this is all played. There's some editing here and there, of course, like any modern recording. But these guys are the real deal. This shit is fucking played. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into these drums. So it looks like I'm going to just play the drums as they are, and then we'll talk about them. Because of the massive speed involved, I'm going to put a clipper I'm going to put a clipper on the kick real quick, just so that I can help it cut a little more and get a little bit more, so I'll get a little more out of it. It's going to become important. It's just really fast. This is the only thing I'm doing. If you're like me, you're just a lover of great drums, so you could sit here and just listen to these drums all day. take it apart. There is a kick sample included, and I have a feeling that this was recorded with a kick pad. These are not programmed according to Dave Otero, but I do think that it's a kick pad because when you play the overheads, I'm not really hearing kicks. So I do think it's a kick pad. This is the sample. Use it if you want to use it. Don't use it if you don't. I don't care. We've got a snare top and bottom and a snare sample. Let's hear what the snare top and bottom are doing. Let me point something out about this snare sample. It's not making or breaking that snare, actually. You could proceed without it. It's just adding what we know as reinforcement, which is important for material this speed. You know, these drums can't get lost playing at this speed. So that's without the snare sample. With the sample, it's just got a little bit more weight to it. Let me throw in these overheads just so we get a more complete picture of what's going on. I love the high-pitched snare. All right. Now, these toms are not pre-cleaned, but they are mic'd well enough. There's, you know, there's plenty of signal here, so these would be easy to cut or to gate or whatever you want. And they sound nice. Sound very nice. Yeah. 4 toms, actually. I'm just curious how much the overheads add to that tom sound. They definitely help it out, but they sound good in the they just sound good in the direct mics anyways. And right there, this is probably why we have a ride and a hat mic. A lot of intricate detail. If you do decide to cut these, you know, to manually gate these overhead and ride, I mean those hi-hat and ride close mics, just make sure that you're not cutting out any important details. There's a lot of single hits and just accents and odds and ends that happen. Make sure that you are listening very closely when you do this. Don't cut off shit that needs to be there. That's cool. Now, notice that everything is kind of pitched a little higher pitched toms, higher pitched snare. That really helps with music of this speed. If everything's low and huge and 300 miles per hour, it's going to get lost. Let's hear what that is, the snare drags. Nice. He even did a really good job adding that to the sample. Good job, Otero. You're our hero. Do not let that sound like a robot or a machine gun. It's meant to have dynamics. Okay, I'll just notice that I don't really see a room mic here, but I don't think you need one, man. Like, I think you've got everything you need here. I think that adding rooms to this situation, I mean, you can add a fake room for sure, but getting too big with these drums and too lengthy, you're going to ask for trouble because there is a lot going on. Let's get into the bass. All right. Why not start with the bass drops? Okay, bass drops out of the way. All right. Looks like besides the bass drops, we've got 4 tracks of bass, a DI, bass driver DI, bass DI preflex, and a dark glass. And let's just get them all playing at the same time, see what we got. I love it. One at a time. So it looks like that dark glass is really evening out this bass playing. Sounds like finger playing. Could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like. So it's important in finger playing, especially this style of music, that you get it really, really evened out. You don't want it jumping all around dynamically. Okay, and I just found out that it's not kick pads that the drummer was using. He was using Access Eat Kit pedals. Same idea. So you got some good bass sound options to blend. Do what you want with. If you hate them all, just reamp that bass DI, but I don't see why you would want to. Just get a good blend with this stuff. It's great. Normally, I hate busy bass playing, but for this kind of stuff, it really does make a difference. Like, it really helps, and this guy clearly knows what he's doing, and he's doing a great job. Like, he's not just not farting around down there like some of these extreme bass players do. Like, it's playing necessary stuff, and it works great with the drums. And I'm going to point out, it's not exactly what the guitars are doing, but we'll get to that in a second. Like, he actually is performing his function as a member of the rhythm section. As you can see, he knows when it's time to get down on, the single note and make it heavy, and then he knows when it's time to get intricate. That's what I mean right there. Like, when it gets to that heavy low part, he knows that it's time to just get down on that open string and just fucking grind coming out of these crazy arpeggios. It's especially important in bands with musicians that are this proficient for them to know when to and when not to. All right, let's check out the rhythm guitars. So we've got the eyes here. If you don't like the rhythm guitars, you can reamp them. I'm going to move the rhythm guitars up so that they're closer to the bass that we're actually working on, because there's a lot of them. It'll be easier. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to just mute the guitar. I'm just going to solo the rhythms. It looks like, see if the panning helps us at all. Lots of stereos. KPA, Archon 1, 2, 3A, 3, 4. EVH 1, EVH 2. I don't know. Let's check it out. That's fast. Okay, so I think that the Archon are the main lines left and right, and then the EVH are the, the triple and the quad. Yes! I'm going to turn down the bass just a little bit because there's a lot of bass and very intricate guitars. But as you can hear, they're not all doing the same thing, which is really cool. Sometimes they are, but not always. I want to point something out that I just noticed. There was a really cool guitar thing happening, and I don't know what it was, and I want to zero in on it. It was right here. Nice. Okay, so. Little details like that are what make this band cool. So I guess, with these rhythm guitars, it's going to be your challenge to get the ratio of the low part and the higher octave and then the secondary lines just right so that it, creates this great sound. By the way, this was the part with the snare drags where I was talking about earlier that you got to leave the dynamics in. Check it out. Imagine if it sounded like a machine gun or no dynamic snare. You know what? I'm going to put these DIs all the way at the bottom just because there's so many tracks. Kind of don't even need them. Actually, rather than do that, I'm going to just hide them. Make life easier. I'm going to hide the lead DIs as well. All right, let's check out what we've got lead-wise. Nice. God, that is some really great playing. What's great about that is if you notice all the different rhythms and patterns that the guy is doing just back to back to back to back. Switching gears like that on guitar is really hard to do. And he's doing it at super high speed. That is a lot harder than it sounds. Back to that catchy ass riff. And how often do you hear catchy ass riffs in this style of music? This is actually a song with riffs that come back and repeat that you can remember, that you can kind of even hum. How often do you hear that in this super technical style? That's what's great about this band is they are over the top tech death, but it's also very musical. And that's what sets them apart. Let's get into the vocals. These vocals are nuts. Got quite a few vocal tracks. It looks like we got a main. I don't know what this do-A-E, probably some sort of a double, but
it renamed itself Remote Tumor Seeker after.
Looks like an effect.
It renamed itself Remote Tumor Seeker after it did the timeless trip. As kind of voice I can do to.
Yes.
Manipulating atmosphere dominance. As kind of voice I can do to electrical person make working after break a point. After activating vision, it began the second thing. Documents the project. My planet and a camera that is our line fair to the kill switch.
God, that's fast. Let's hear that with the music. Guy is just killing it.
Manipulating atmosphere dominance. As kind of voice I can do to electrical person make working after break a point. After activating vision, it began the second thing. Documents the project. My planet and a camera that is our line fair.
What the hell?
It's the project. My planet and a camera that is our line fair to the kill switch. On a massive screen and flash me on it.
Awesome.
It's the project. My planet and a camera that is our line fair to the kill switch. On a massive screen and flash me on it. Another reactor is contact. Mr. Planet on the cell. Project from the ceiling center. All the records released.
Inhale vocals, because you can't, can't do this without the inhales.
It's the project.
So, I mean, these are very, very well performed, and obviously they're compressed. You can tell that they're compressed on the way in, but it's going to be your challenge to make sure that they don't get lost. Now, they don't need to be understandable. That's not the point. They just can't get lost. okay? You've got to be able to feel them and to hear them to the point where it's just like, God damn. But obviously, you don't need to understand the lyrics. I mean, I can barely understand them when I play them soloed. That's not the point.
Barbara!
Yes. This is the perfect vocalist for this band. He matches their intensity perfectly. He knows when to pick it up, when to slow it down, when to just do ridiculous things. It's great. And he's got the chops to keep up, too. That's impressive. Like I said, right there, he knows to just draw it out. Make it guttural. Make it evil.
I share my eyes with the Seeker. Investigating endless mile trail, build a barrier. As far as question trace.
But right out of this part, which is just insane fast.
I share my eyes with the Seeker. Investigating endless mile trail, build a barrier. As far as question trace will go, Tobi is the last one left. The head of the victim that frantically ratchet to go to the skull. The brain renamed itself, Tumor Seeker after it.
And what is that? Is that a little bit of groove I hear in Tech Death? Weird.
The head of the victim that frantically ratchet to go to the skull. The brain renamed itself, Tumor Seeker after it did the darkness trip. The brain renamed itself, Tumor Seeker after it did the darkness trip.
All right. So this has been my unboxing of Archspire, and I think that the main takeaway or the main challenge here is going to be for it to not sound like a mess, for you to bring out the right parts in this blend of insanity, bring out the right parts, and to still make it sound punchy, clear, aggressive, and groove without it sounding small, because when you start cleaning up this style of music too much, it can start to sound really, really small. So it's actually a lot harder than you may think. Good luck, happy mixing. This is Archspire, which is going to be mixed by none other than Dave Otero, November 2018. Nail the mix. If you like what you hear, click the link below to get these multi-tracks. Mix them yourselves. This has been Eyal Levi. Happy mixing.